Hey, what's going on, guys? James Anderson here, and I kind of want to just kind of talk to you really quickly today about an application that I get a lot of questions about, and it's this guy here in the center called Acorns. Now, if you're not familiar with Acorns, I just want to kind of let you guys know what it is, and let me just define it. It's basically a micro trading platform, a micro transaction trading platform. Micro investments is what they call it, and it basically uses small bits amount of money. So that way you can get that invested on a very small scale, but hopefully later on, the more that you actually do it, the larger that your accumulation of your portfolio or your wealth or your money will actually be in the account. So it's pretty cool. I've actually had the account for several years, and anything that kind of drops with that's a financial application that kind of hits the marketplace, I'm always trying to check it out and see what's actually going on here. So that's why I wanted to kind of bring this review because I get so many questions about it. And I said, well, are there better way than to actually just kind of walk you through on how it works on my particular phone. Now, this is something typically that I do not do. This is sort of like an application slash tech review, but it's finance as well. So I'm gonna take a stab at it, and you guys let me know if this is something that's useful or not useful. You can definitely let me know in the comments below. But three things, personally, me, and I'm gonna speak like a tech reviewer almost, but personally for me, three things that has to happen in the application. Okay, number one is that I absolutely have to have updates deployed regularly to keep the software updated because technology changes so fast. It's number two is that I love the fact that it has to be easy to use and the layout has to look nice to me. That's just kind of one of my pet peeves, easy use and layout. And then the third thing is got to have useful features, not just a bunch of features, but useful features that people can actually use, get information, learn about the application, use it better. I think that's super key. And, I'm going to kind of walk through what I have here. So let me go ahead and get logged into Acorns here. And all right, we're there. So here's what it has. It kind of brings you to the home screen and it talks about your present value of your account. It talks about, if you scroll down here, it says how much you've actually added in the last 30 days. You can set up a recurring investment if you wanted to actually have it set up on a weekly investment that works for you, which is pretty cool. I particularly don't do that. I just let it do the term which is called a roundup. Now let me say what a roundup is. A roundup is basically this. Let's say, for instance, I went into the coffee shop and I spent $6.50. Okay. Well, if I was to swipe that with my debit card, then obviously I'll have a record of me spending $6.50. So what then I can do on Acorns is I can link my debit card one time and monitor my transactions. So Acorns is going to see it like, okay, well, James spent $6.50 at the coffee house. Well, guess what? We're going to round that up and make that $7. So then what Acorns will actually do is take 50 cents, okay, and kind of calculate it. It'll take 50 cents and say, okay, from this transaction, we're going to also put 50 cents. And that way, we're going to invest 50 cents into your portfolio. So it rounds up your nearest transaction. So if you spend $6.95, it'll pull a nickel. If you spend $6.10, it'll pull 90 cents. And basically, you have a number set up to where you want it to keep rounding up, and then it's going to take that investment amount and drop it down and break it down in there. So let me go here and I'll kind of start from the beginning of the application. Number one, if you kind of just look at the application, it's very straightforward. It's very intuitive. I love it because it actually has the easy use and layouts. That's one of the big things for me. It has to have the easy use and layout. But now, if I go over here and I'll click on my actual account here, and like I said, a lot of people are talking about this application, about how it works and what it does and why you should get it. But you see right there where it says investor since April of 15. I've been using it for a long time, guys. Like everything that I talk about, I use, I implement, and if it's a strategy that works, I educate people on it. That's how I operate here. But now you can see you got it set up. It gives you a checklist, link your funding source where you're going to pay it from, get your account up to $10, link a roundup account, turn on automatic roundups. This is just where it would round up automatically. Link a second roundup account, complete your registration, get your Acorn account to $100. Now, particularly for me, if I go back to home, you can look at my past here. I'm totally invested. I've invested $1,200 total, and guys, I've withdrawn $1,200 is what I've withdrawn. I invested $1,280. Now you can kind of see the roundups here. So I spent you see you can kind of just walk through and you see these various different amounts. One of the cool things I love about it, like I went to the Zach's Auto Wash in the middle here and it says $1 roundup. I actually spent $10, so you can set your roundups to make it a whole dollar if you spend just a flat number like $5, $6, $10, $20, etc. And you can kind of see the various numbers here. And basically, what's going to end up happening is if I go to my roundup screen here, you can see that they count the money, and then basically once I get to $5, I can basically invest it. And you can of course change this whatever you want it to be, whether you want it 5, 10, 15, 20, I think is what your options are. But $5 is cool for me. Just take the money, get it as quickly as possible into the market. I think $5 is the minimum you have to do. So the shorter the roundup period, the more money I can have invested, and you can take advantage of potential returns. One of the key things, like I talk about useful features, is that with Acorns, if you up in the corner here, you can see that question mark there. You click that guy, it breaks down whatever screen that you're on. If you see that question mark, it actually gives you sort of intuitive of what you have going on inside of Acorns. It talks about what it actually is. Of course, this is like making a purchase here. It's funny that they actually got a picture of a coffee cup because I use that analogy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of there. And then I'm going to talk about a few other things here. And this video is going to be super short, guys. But let's talk about performance. This is kind of how it's broken down. If you look at my all, you can see I got 2 big spikes, and then I draw the money down. This is my own particular strategy. This isn't, you don't have to do it this way. But since I have, traditional investment accounts, and I kind of use this as a secondary deal. Now, my own recommendation, I would not use this for 3 things. Number one, I wouldn't use it as my savings account because obviously getting the money out of this, it takes a few days because they have to sell off the shares and transfer the money. So I wouldn't use this as an emergency savings account. I would use something like a municipal bond fund or something like that with the wholesale investment house. The second thing is that I wouldn't use this as like my retirement account, okay? Because when you open up this account, this is a traditional investment account and you're liable for any taxes and things like that happen. And then the third thing, of course, I wouldn't use this as like my only investment account, okay? So I wouldn't use this as my emergency savings investment account. I wouldn't use it as my retirement account, nor would I use it as my primary investment account for building my wealth. It's just something extra, right? It's just a little something extra that you can add towards it. So if you see, every year mines go up, and then at the end of the year, usually around January 1st, I go ahead and pull the money out. Usually I usually do it around like right after Christmas during that break. I get the money out and then I take the money and then I drop it right into my traditional investment account. And then it's just extra money that I have going towards, things that I actually have great gains on. So if you look at the market gain and loss, you can see that for the last, since April, since I had it, I got around 5.5%. Not bad, but I got other accounts that have gotten me like 15, 16, 20%. So you can see why I take that extra money and drop it into my investment account or my retirement accounts, because it gives you that extra flow, that extra cash flow to kind of beef that up and get better returns. But this is a specific purchase. This is a specific purpose with this app. It takes your money and rounds it up from everyday purchases that you're actually using, and it sets it aside and invests it. So I think that's pretty cool. It's kind of a set it and forget it deal. Like literally, I only get in here and check my account like once a year, like maybe twice a year. I'll do it because I know it's continuously investing. Okay. Now, if I go over here, they got this thing called Found Money, which is pretty cool. If you spend money with some of these actual retailers here, they will actually invest a certain percentage into your Acorn account on whatever your purchase is. Basically, you'll click on, say, iTunes here. Guess what? It says it's going to invest 3% invested. So if you're going to buy an album, you can go over here and shop it. It'll take you right over to your iTunes deal. You'll purchase it, and then that transaction will be recorded, and then it invests 3% into your actual Acorns account, which is pretty cool. And then over here, you got Grow, which is kind of their blogging platform, which gives you a lot of information. It breaks it down by topics. And I must say, guys, I'm a financial nerd, and I like to read a lot of stuff. So the topics and the information here are pretty sound, right? They're very easy to grasp, very easy to understand. No, they're not performance and earnings ratios that you would get from like T. Roy Price. They're not prospectuses that you would get from Vanguard. Don't expect that, but it does give you some great basic financial knowledge outside of what you would just kind of see out there on the web, which is pretty cool. And it's got to invite friends, get $5. So it's got an affiliate link that you can actually use and as people invest. And of course, you got the withdrawal option, which I think is an actual cool deal. But now, what I want to do is I want to kind of give you guys, just kind of my thoughts behind it. I think the application is great. The updates come out regularly. The ease of use and the layout. I like the colors. I like the way it's laid out. And of course, the great useful features that it has. But let's talk about some of the mechanics of it, and then we're going to be done. So I'm actually going to go down to my settings app, and I'm going to click on my Acorns portfolio. And it's going to bring up the portfolio that I'm actually invested in, which is a moderately aggressive portfolio. So basically, what it has here is has a breakdown of how much. If you look at the bottom, it's got the percentages of how much is large company stocks, small company stocks. How much is in real estate stocks, government bonds, corporate bonds. Now, it sets this up when you first set up your account information. It's going to tell you what's kind of your investment preference, and mine has always been set to whatever it's set me up for. I never changed it. So you got conservative, you got moderately conservative, moderately aggressive, and of course you can guarantee the last one is going to be aggressive. And pretty much from left to right, it's just basically starting off from your ratio of bonds. So your more conservative portfolio, you can see it's got 80% in bonds, whereas your aggressive portfolio has nothing in bonds, so it's a little bit more volatile because it's just involved in stocks. But let me just hit the moderately aggressive, the one that I'm on in, and kind of break it down what it has. So Acorns invests into what's called ETFs. ETFs are exchange traded funds. They're basically like mini mutual funds, if you want to use that term, that you can actually buy individual shares of. That has a money manager or the portfolio, and basically what they do is they invest in different stocks to get different returns for that particular fund. Now, that was a mouthful. But here's the thing. If you kind of click on this large company stocks, you can see that Acorns, because I got 38% in large company stocks, so 38 cents of every dollar is going to be invested into the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, which is basically an index ETF of the S&P 500. And you can see the featured holdings are Apple, ExxonMobil, Google, Microsoft, GE, Johnson & Johnson. Now, at the time that you're watching this video, let's have a little fun. You guys go ahead, and if you're watching this now, go ahead and drop down what the cost of Apple stock is right now. And see, the thing is, Apple stock is going to be a lot more than $5 per share. So here I can get a small piece of one share of Apple stock when using this micro investment platform and using this ETF. So I get to get in the race without having the capital up front. That's why these micro investment trading platforms are starting to become so popular. Small company stocks, it's got Towers Watson in there. It's got Hanes brand. I actually have Hanes brand stock just separately in another account, which I think is really cool. That's Hanes Underwear, Champion, different brands like that. And you can kind of see what's there. But 14 cents of every dollar will go into the Vanguard small cap. So these are smaller company stocks here. You got the emerging market stocks, which usually overseas emerging markets. So you can see Brazil, China, South Africa. That's where they're focusing in on that. And just 4 cents of every dollar. And then I still got some government bonds and some corporate bonds in there. So you see the corporate bonds got Verizon, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, AT&T, Morgan Stanley. Very stable blue chip style companies in there. So it kind of bases your portfolio mix based upon these ETFs and how much of each dollar is actually invested into these ETFs. Now, the cool thing about it is that you can always change your portfolio if you want to go more moderate or more aggressive. You just simply click that and you get the change portfolio. And I think you got to confirm a few things and get it, and you're pretty much done. But that's pretty much it, guys. I love the aspect of being able to utilize a simple platform to help people get their mind focused on their money. Now, I'm not paid by Acorns to do this video. I'm not even promoting like that. I'm simply just trying to educate people on something that I use, and if I use it, then I'm going to at least talk about it a little bit. So, my name is James E. Anderson from JDA Solutions. I hope you guys got this value out of this video. Kind of weird, kind of a tech style review video, different from what I normally do. But I'm going to post it up and let you guys comment below, and if you want to see more of that, there's different accounts, websites, and things like that I can show you that I use that's worth it. So if you see some value in it, then hey, let's get it done. So go ahead and comment below if this is something that was worth it. You know, you guys can always follow, subscribe me, and that's at I am JD Anderson. I'm on across any social media at I am JD Anderson. And of course, give it a thumbs up if it was something worth value. So I appreciate you guys. That is it. James D. Anderson going ahead and signing out. You guys have a good night.